All right. Welcome to the Hivemind Radio recap March show thing. Yeah. I'm here with... I'm prepared. I'm prepared to talk about some music.
You're the one that came up with it.
Yeah, wait, hold on.
I am prepared. Shut the hell your mouth.
Shut the hell your mouth? Alright.
Alright, anyway, so yeah, this is gonna be kind of replacing my radio show while Outbreak is happening. Every month, me and my pals here, we're gonna be talking about new releases and some singles, some albums, and then at the end, any other stuff that might be going on that we've done recently or music related, I don't know. So yeah, I'm here with my three pals. We got Justin, Derek, and Jacob, not to be confused with Jake. I don't know if you guys want to say something about the music you listen to, just so people know your voices before we get into this.
I guess we'll go online.
Yeah, Justin, go first.
Yeah, we'll just go online in Discord. So yeah, most of the bands I listen to, I've actually gotten more into the heavier stuff within the last couple of months. Recently, usually I listen to a lot of like melodic stuff. So Gavin Dance, Hands Like Houses. No. Yeah, Hands Like Houses. Valiant Hearts, one of the newer bands that are coming out. Speech Patterns and all that. I've been getting to more of the heavy stuff though. Like, this is unrelated to the month we're going to be talking about, but like the Nude, Dead by April single that came out, we'll probably talk about next month. Mm-hmm. That was pretty good, but otherwise, like, that's rough base of what I listen to.
All right, Derek.
Yeah, so I'm Derek. My music taste is kind of all over the place, and I kind of have Jake to blame for it, for getting me into this in the first place.
It's true.
And it's steadily fallen apart. Justin, my music taste has gotten progressively heavier as time goes on, which I also have Jacob to thank for. So, I pretty much everybody here has shaped my music taste, and I've kind of taken off with it. But
I would agree
stuff
with
that I listened to before has really stuck with me as well, and I've expanded my horizons to a lot of like sad boy hip hop, and I listen to a lot of indie as well. I'll listen to pretty much anything, honestly. I got a country playlist, I got an 80s playlist. It doesn't matter to me. I appreciate good music for what it is.
Yeah, Derek's got a scale of like, he'll listen to Ariana Grande and then Five Finger Death Punch.
Hey, I will not listen to Five Finger Death Punch.
Okay. Ariana Grande to Motionless in White. There.
Yeah, there we go.
There you go.
There we go.
Or better yet, Ariana Grande to Chelsea Grin. I've been finding myself getting into their what is it, Eternal Nightmare? That album's
it's
Chef's Kiss.
Yep.
It was beautiful, but yeah, I'd say that's about it.
And,
all right, I'm Jacob. Oh, I'm interrupting you. I'm already.
Go.
Yeah, I listen to a lot of metalcore, and actually, unlike Justin and Derek, my music taste has been getting softer. Actually, I'd say. Bands like Ice Nine Kills. What else do I listen to? Imminence. Mm-hmm. I'm blanking now.
Tell me, I will say, I have you to blame because of you, I've gotten into the Ice Nine Kills, and their latest album has like been on repeat the last couple of months because of it.
It's so good.
It is really so good.
It really is. I guess I should introduce myself a little bit. I'm Jake. I started out more into like just kind of hard rock stuff, nothing more. It was probably one of the first ones I got into, and actually no, Amaranth was the first one I got into. Amaranth's my favorite band. Nothing more, and then I slowly got into heavier stuff. So yeah, I float probably more into like hard rock, more so than metalcore, but I do like the metalcore stuff as well. So without further ado, I guess we can start talking about the singles that were released in March, since this is the March recap show. So let's start off with Slaves. Talk to a Friend.
Oh.
I wouldn't talk to a friend the way I talk to myself.
This song is so good.
It
It is really good.
It
Yeah,
really
it
is.
is. I cannot get enough of this song. I think it's my most listened to for the month as of right now.
I believe it is for me
20
as
something
well.
plays.
It is definitely at the like near the top. for me
Only
going
20.
up
I'm
there.
at like 60 right now.
Jeez. Hey, I've got the single after this. It's
Oh,
following
yeah.
close behind.
Of course.
That's
Of
true.
course,
That's
yeah.
true.
But yeah, no, I actually recently found out that what I thought was an electric kazoo in prayers, as well as the like vocals in the chorus, like higher pitched ones, are just Matt McAndrew's vocals repitched. So
Oh,
like
that's weird.
Wow.
that at the start of prayers, and then in the chorus here, that background vocal, that's just it's all Matt.
Oh yeah.
Which I thought was very interesting. I assumed that they were doing something else with it. But I think that really goes to show like the level of creativity, I guess, that they've really put into their music.
Mhm.
Can
And
we just talk about the lyrics from this song, though?
Yeah, I was about
Oh
to
yeah,
go-
absolutely,
Let me-
absolutely. Run it back.
I got this pulled up
Wait.
on my phone real quick.
I gotta
Yeah.
pull it up as well.
Jacob,
So,
I'll let you take away
well,
that one verse.
Well, while you guys are pulling that up, like I've sent this song to so many people
same.
because it's
Mhm.
such a relatable song,
Especially
with
right
the
now.
lyrics.
Especially
Oh,
right
yeah.
now when we're all stuck in quarantine, like, talk to
Yeah,
a
it
friend.
came out. It's such a good
Like-
time.
For real. Just, like, the opening 2 lines, I just called see how you're doing, never mind, I've been going through it. If that ain't the most relatable shit to March 2020,
Yeah,
Like-
honestly. Yeah, no, I.
it's-
One thing with the lyrics, I didn't know what he was saying, and with whatever it's called, right before the chorus, he says, "I could never be ashamed of you, homie," and I didn't realize that it said homie, so I couldn't like. For a good like 5 listens, I was feeling very ambivalent about that. I'm
Okay.
like, "Yo, the rest of this is so deep, and then he just hit us with the homie. So
Yeah, look at this bridge. Hold on. Tell me what kind of man it's supposed to be when the lines of the razor blade are made or faded. Is there really any hope for me if a complicated simple conversation's complicated?
Yeah, that one hits a little too close to home for me. I'm
Like
not
what
gonna
the
lie.
fuck?
yeah, that was. I think that this lyrically
Is the best song of
the
2020?
best.
Oh,
Wow.
easily.
We're-
I was gonna say they're best out of the singles so far that they've released.
I could probably agree with that as well.
Have
My
they said-
favorite is. So go ahead.
Go ahead. Well, you haven't spoke.
All right. My favorite's verse 2 actually. The right where he's like, I spend the next 5 lines asking bad questions, and then he just lists them all out.
Yep.
Yeah, it took me a bit to recognize that. But once I did,
It's
I
like-
was
Yeah, once
Oh,
once you pointed
shit,
that you
like-
pointed that out, I was like, holy.
I don't know if this is my favorite single of theirs yet.
I
I
think
still,
I think
I'm still
Heavier's
thinking
better.
heavier. Yeah,
Heavier's
Maybe not
better.
lyrically.
I'm the outlier.
I
on
like
this
the
one.
chorus better. The chorus in Talk to a Friend is really good. It's just 2 lines that are being repeated. And we're gonna get into that a little bit with another track that we've all been joking about.
Oh,
You
But
kinda-
man, it's still a good song. Oh,
yeah,
what part?
You were just like roboting a bit there. But
Oh,
Yeah.
like yeah, we're gonna get into like the repeating lines in a chorus in another track here
Oh, there you
shortly.
yeah.
Oh, did I robot again? But
oh, that one came through.
Yeah, yeah.
of course it did.
Internet really prioritizing the important words here.
I know.
Anyway, I hold the unpopular stance on this song that Bury a Lie, their song from January, it's the song I've replayed the most by far. But that's entirely because of the instrumentals for that song. The opening riff that just reappears has made me want to replay that song more than almost anything else that's released this year. But as an overall song, Talk to a Friend is better, for sure.
I think it's very interesting to me that the different aspects of their singles so far, that each individual single I think is the best out of the 4 in its own right. Like I think Heavier is overall like the best song, but then you've got Bury a Lie, which to me has the best instrumentals, like you were
Definitely,
talking about.
definitely.
You've got Talk to a Friend, which has the best
That's lyrics.
lyricism.
Mhm.
And then honestly, I think Prayers is the most catchy out of all
Yeah.
of them.
Yeah,
you-
that chorus is. I mean,
if you take them apart, like don't compare them against one another, just take them single. Like they've each got reasons why they're really good, and there's so much promise for this album.
so what we're saying is that this album is like almost a lock-in for a top 10 album of the year at this point.
Oh,
Yeah,
absolutely.
it
Is there a
just got-
release date yet?
No, I
No,
was just
there
going to
is no
say there's
release
no
date.
release date.
Yeah.
It's floating around.
It's been 8 months since Heavier. They got 4 singles.
They've given us the album name, which is To Better Days, and then they've given us, I think they said that we got 12 or 13 tracks on this album. So we've got track numbers, we've got an album title, and we have no release date, which I feel like it's kind of gone out of order there. But I don't know. This can't come.
It's gotta
soon
be
enough.
something soon. It's gotta be soon.
I have a feeling it's something with like the record, because doesn't Johnny Craig still own their record label?
I don't know.
No,
much
I,
about that
I think they
record
got
label.
signed to a new one.
Because they've still been releasing music videos on SPG Records' YouTube channel.
Yeah, and Awaken I Am just got signed to them. So
Because the way I understood it was that they were having, I think, what were they on before? Epitaph? I
Yeah.
can't remember,
Yeah.
but whatever.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Well, there he goes. Whatever label they were on before, they kicked either. I think no. That's what it was. They left when they still had Johnny Craig in the band because of like record issues. And I thought that SPG Records was owned by Johnny Craig. I could be wrong, but my understanding was that they started up their own record label because Johnny Craig has been releasing his solo material on that record label as well. So.
I think we've talked a lot about this song.
Ironic, but
Like,
I mean,
I
it
think-
deserves to be talked about.
It really does. Like, I think if there's any song that we can praise out of everything we're going to talk about or plan to talk about, like this is the one that I think all 4 of us agree on the most.
Yeah,
That, like,
absolutely.
It's just
there's also going to be
incredible.
quite a few tracks later on that are just not going to be talked about as much.
Yeah, I like
Yeah.
the way that we've set up the songs that we're going to discuss here. Not everyone has listened to everything that we're talking about here, so like I think this and there's probably like 2, maybe 3 other songs we've all listened to on this list.
Yeah.
But
And I think it's the first 4, to be quite honest.
yeah, yeah.
Looking at
I-
that,
I haven't
I've
haven't
heard
listened to that. I haven't listened to that Asking Alexandria.
Okay.
okay.
You're not missing out.
All right. Let's.
Disagree.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that. Let's move on to the next track.
Strawberry's
Dance, Gavin Dance,
Wake.
Strawberry's Wake.
Absolutely.
Roll the windows down, let the breeze blow heavy. Turn the music loud, let the fever come alive. Can I feel that?
So, Derek, because you're the DGD
Amazing
and,
video.
and Jacob.
Yeah. What I think has been different for me is that a lot of times with Dance Gavin Dance, the first time I heard a lot of their songs, I was instantly in love. And with this single and the other 2, one which came out yesterday, and the other one that came out in late February, it's taken me at least 3 or 4 listens to get into them. But I think that this is some of their best material. I'm going to be honest. This is a very close contender for top 10 Dance Gavin Dance songs for me. Honestly, I love this.
I'm not huge into Dance Gavin Dance, but Strawberry's Wake made my playlist. So, yeah, it's just good.
I like it a lot better than Prisoner.
I would agree with that. Yep. Prisoner.
Mhm.
I don't think Prisoner is necessarily bad, but in comparison to Strawberry's Wake, it's like
Prisoner for me has a better moment at the end there with the final bridge into that little breakdown-esque moment at the end. That's one of my favorite moments in any Dance Gavin Dance song ever. But overall, I think that Strawberry's Wake is the better song. It's got the better music video. It's more upbeat. It feels more like a Dance Gavin Dance. My thing with Prisoner was that it was very structured outside of the end, and that's not usually something that you see too often, that kind of defined structure from a Dance Gavin Dance song. And you'll have to see if you agree with me here, Jacob. I thought that John Mess sounded like he did on Acceptance Speech here.
I'm not. I'm fairly new into Dance Gavin Dance, like
Ah.
4 years, so I didn't really listen to them way back.
This album is going to be the first full Dance Gavin Dance album I'll listen to.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
Like
I am
also-
I've peeped singles from the other ones, but
also the music videos for this recent one have been really good.
Oh yeah. No,
I didn't watch for the one that came out yesterday.
It's
But-
just like a time lapse, isn't it?
Mhm.
Yeah, it's a time lapse of the mural they
I thought
painted
it
in
was.
Sacramento.
Yeah, but
Anyway,
like
back
the
to-
airplane with just
Oh yeah, John Best just
Yeah.
appearing in the window.
Hey!
so good.
One of the best parts of the song, to be honest. Like,
Yeah.
I think the chorus really sells this song for me.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah,
super
very
catchy.
much.
And
It
then
really
especially
is.
what they do at the end of the song, how they change up the last chorus like just a little bit. I think that worked out really well. I've noticed with Gavin Dance songs that when the chorus is faster paced, I tend to like the song better, and this song definitely has a rather fast paced chorus. So
Yeah, the replayability on this song is insane too.
Oh, yeah.
I think that comes with, again, like the faster paced songs by them, with a few exceptions, are really the most replayable. Like Headhunter was my most listened to song of last year, and that's just because it was under 3 minutes, fast paced. I could
Mhm.
put that on repeat forever, and I feel like it's really been the same
yeah.
for this one. I think I've got probably 60 or 70 listens into it at this point, and that's not going to stop anytime soon. I am so phenomenally excited for this album.
I have
It's
not been
almost-
hooked with the other two singles, but Strawberries Wake is that's been hitting the repeat button for me.
Yeah, Prisoner's definitely the weakest single, I think.
This song
Whether-
got my girlfriend into Gavin Dance.
Oh, God
There
bless.
you have it. Anyone that hasn't heard Strawberries Wake or Gavin Dance, go listen.
It's definitely not
It's
for
proven-
everybody.
It's proven successful. Yeah,
It is an
definitely-
acquired taste,
Oh,
but
yeah.
if you get that taste,
I don't know how many songs you've had to have me listen to by Gavin Dance to even get me to where I'm at today.
it's
To
been
where
crazy.
I only have 3 songs from them in my playlist still.
You have to see them live. That'll be the
Yes.
turning point. I'm serious.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, seeing them live was really. I saw them live about 2 months after I found them, and
I was supposed to see them live
It was
3 days
just-
ago.
oh yeah, Rona season has taken away my Gavin Dance concert and replaced Royal Coda with Wolf and Bear on the tour package, which I'm not necessarily upset about, but part of my thing was that I've gotten my dad into this band. And his thing is that he really loves watching Will Swan play guitar. And I was hoping that with Royal Coda, since Will Swan is the guitarist in that band, that it would be 2 instances of watching Will Swan that I could ease him into so he could suffer through Veil and Maya. But I'm not looking forward to Wolf and Bear as an opening act as much, just because I think that they're overall not as good of a band as Royal Coda. But I don't know. I'm so excited for this concert. It's Gavin Dance.
Mm.
If it gets rescheduled again, I think I might cry.
They pushed it back to September, didn't they?
Yeah,
August,
yeah. I think my date's August 24th or something like that.
I'm going to see Amaranth 2 days before that, which is pretty high.
Theoretically.
Provided the song
it's,
quiets down.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
All right.
I don't know.
What do y'all say we move on to the next song?
Sounds good to me.
Anti-Socialist by Asking Alexandria.
nope, I'm out. Have fun.
Okay, so I feel like Jacob's in the minority here because I really like this song.
I hate the lyrics.
I also really
yeah.
like this. I think this is the best of the 3 singles so far.
Absolutely. I agree entirely. I have really fallen out of love with the violence. They Don't Want What We Want was okay.
Yeah.
I had it on repeat for a while, and the more I listened to it, the more I was like, this is
What
mediocre
was the
at
second one
best.
even called? I don't even remember.
They Don't Want What We Want.
Oh,
Something
yeah,
in
never
parentheses. What is
Yeah.
it?
Yeah, the
They
violence
don't
was the
care.
best out of these 3.
I still think the violence is good, but I think Anti-Socialist is better.
Yeah,
I really dig the chorus, personally.
I know a lot of people have been talking about this isn't Asking Alexandria. Like, what happened to Danny Warsnop? I think he sounds really good in
I
all of
agree.
these songs. I don't think that's the problem. I think the problem is that they've kind of sold their soul to Octane Radio at this point.
Not even that.
They've just
Well,
sold
yeah,
their,
I mean-
they've just sold their soul entirely.
Yeah. honestly, I mean, looking back at their last album too, I really enjoyed that album. Hopelessly Hopeful off of that album.
That
is one of
album
my
has grown
favorite
on me
songs
with
of all
time for sure.
It is. It's very good. But just in contrast to the rest of their older, more heavy material, I've seen some people talking about how they want shit. What's his name? The guy who replaced Danny Warsnop.
Hang on, I can remember.
Dude, it's blanking. If you ask me this anytime,
Dennis
but now
Stoff.
I can tell.
Dennis
Dennis Stoff. Who replaced Danny Warsnop for now? And they're like, yeah, at this point, we want Dennis Stoff back. And I don't know about that one. I'd take Danny Warsnop not doing streams I'd take that over Dennis Stoff any day. I really don't care for the Black at all. I don't like that album.
There's a few good songs on that album, like the Black.
I Won't Give In was actually one of the first songs that I discovered on my own after Jake had brought me into the whole hard rock metal scene. And I went back and listened to it. I'm not sure why I ever liked it because I can't get behind anything on that album. Unpopular opinion, really any of their older material at all.
I haven't given their older stuff really a chance. I've only listened to their self-titled.
I think their self-titled album is their best, personally, but I know that's an opinion that would get me shot on Twitter, so I've kind of kept that one to myself. Because that's like...
anyone else have anything to say about this song? Or?
It's good.
I just think it's solid.
Yeah, it's nothing extraordinary, but I definitely think it's the best out of the 3 singles. Mm-hmm. I do think... When is this album supposed to come out? We have a release date, don't we?
May 1st, I think. I think it's May 1st.
It's something in May, which...
I'll pull it up.
That's 10 months removed. May 15th. Okay, so that's 10 months removed from The Violence. Because I thought The Violence was just going to be a standalone single.
Yeah, I thought the same. Especially after they released their the deluxe version of their self-titled in December.
Yeah.
I was like,
and I mean, I know
The Violence was probably a single then.
I know this is like we're removed from February, but that was the same sort of thing with getting All My Friends Are Dead from the Amity Affliction. I was convinced that was going to be a standalone, and I wouldn't be surprised if for both bands that was a decision that both of these songs have gotten traction. People like them. We should probably throw it on the album. Yeah, but
I think that. The Violence and Anti-Socialist are both good. They Don't Want What We Want was a little underwhelming. I didn't give it too much replayability, but yeah. All right. Next one.
Oh boy.
Hands That's Like Houses.
Head Rush. I'm sure Justin's got some choice words on this one.
I will say, given everything, the Live in Yo Lounge that Hands Like Houses did for the quarantine, when they played this song, it actually sounded really good live.
Okay, thank God somebody else has something positive to say about this, because I shit on it to no end when it came out, and I've played this song at least once a day since then. Yeah, I like it. I don't think it's anywhere near as good as their older material, but
no stuff. And I'm really glad they played stuff like Dissonant, stuff from Dissonance, and I think they only played like 1 or 2 tracks from the album before that. But like their new sound, the way they're trying to do these new singles like Head Rush, I'm not a fan of. It's not what I got into for them, and probably you the same, Derek.
Yeah,
but they sound good. Trenton, lovely voice, beautiful,
absolutely, so talented,
very talented. It's just the sound and the instrumentals and the chorus. Why have it removed?
I think that if this song was released under a band name that wasn't Hands Like Houses, this song would be fine. But because it's Hands Like Houses, it's just like not.
Yeah, it's very desensitizing, and I'm hopeful their next single is something like related to Drift, hell, even Tilt from their last album.
Tilt is their best song. Come at me.
From the last album, yeah. But
the band that wrote Momentary, Tale of Outer Suburbia, is now writing I'm Inside Your Head, I'm Inside Your Head,
yeah.
I'm Inside Your Head, I'm Inside Your Head,
yeah.
Head. you know. And for what it's worth, I will give it to him. That song is inside my head. That chorus is stupidly catchy, and I'm so mad. I woke up one day with it in my head, and that was a turning point. And I was like, you know what? Maybe this isn't that bad. Driving
definitely incredible.
Driving with the windows down. Put it on in your car and drive with the windows down. I think your improvement or your wow, I just had a stroke. Your opinion of it will improve. There we go. I forgot the word opinion for a moment there. Yeah.
Or opinion, yeah.
But they've hinted that Anon, their last album, was kind of the bridge between Dissonance and the sound that they're going towards now. So I'm not really sure if we're going to be able to expect anything that isn't like this.
Yeah, the way Trent, when he's seen responses to this, feeling like, people saying it's not Hands Like Houses, and it's like, yeah, it's not, but it's how we want to sound. And I completely support them on that. It's just, it's probably not going to be repeat like their older stuff was.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if they're making the music that makes them genuinely happy, and it's a decision that's best for them and not just what's best for their pockets.
Yeah.
If this is the direction they want to go, then so be it. But it feels like a waste of musical and lyrical talent that I know is there and is so evidently there. Because as musicians, they're only going to get better and learn more over time. So it felt like an abrupt stop and a change in the wrong direction in that regard.
Yeah, and I can completely understand them playing stuff from Ground Dweller. Like, from what they've said, like, they had a guy who did the electronics on most of that album, and is just not with the band anymore. So a lot of those songs they can't play live.
Yeah, they mentioned that when I went to see him in Carborough, North Carolina, back in November 2018 probably. And I got VIP tickets, and I saw them, and we were talking about it, and somebody asked about that. And they said that they're not only is the guy not with them, but there's so many background electronic elements that help bring those songs together that to play them in any sense that isn't like a 10-year anniversary tour where they have to do that for pretty much all or most of the songs is just not feasible.
Yeah,
from their standpoint. So
I wouldn't mind a remastering or a recreation of that album with, because the mixing on that album was not quite good.
Yeah,
not as good as like Tilt had really good mix, or not Tilt, but the Anon had really good mixing. If they bring it up to that standard and just remix it, hell, maybe remaster some of the songs a different sound and not use as many electronics, probably go more acoustic on it. Hell, I wouldn't even mind an acoustic album of that.
Yeah, and honestly, doing that in some fashion, I feel like would be very good for that. I don't think it could hurt them at all, because putting out this material, they've gained a lot of new fans from Anon. So I understand that there are going to be more people who are more, or who lean more towards what the sound of Headrush is. But if you hit them with a remastered version of their older material, specifically Ground Dweller, that's exposing new fans to older material. That's giving older fans who may not vibe with Headrush's sound or Anon's sound as much something to chew on. I think it'd be a very smart decision from them. But, with everything that's going on monetarily, just the overall situation, I don't know if we could expect anything like that given the circumstances. And even without this, I'm not confident that that's where they want to be as musicians right now, which sucks, but it is what it is.
Overall, it's not a bad song necessarily, but it's not up to what they're capable of.
Yeah. I think that's a good summation of it.
Yeah.
You got any thoughts, Jacob?
I didn't listen.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's definitely a catchy song, but like it's not something
I think
from
like
them I'm not a fan of.
I'm just gonna reiterate what I said earlier. If this song was released under a band that wasn't Hands Like Houses, this song would be fine. Like, it would be completely fine.
When you have their older material to put it up against, it just doesn't
Yeah.
stand.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to the next one. As I Lay Dying, Destruction or Strength, a new single, which I believe is like a B-side addition to their album from 2019.
Yeah, it got released to help support, what was it? I think they're crew members who were expecting pay from an upcoming tour and weren't able to get it because of coronavirus canceling everything. And I think they released like a t-shirt or something alongside it. But
so
I mean, this is okay.
This was like my first
It's an As I Lay Dying song.
Yeah.
You sent me Blinded to play on one of my shows in February.
Yeah.
When I was going for a heavier show. And that was my first time I'd ever heard them. And I was like, God damn, that's some good metalcore right there.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't listen to anything else off of the album until this single came out. And I was like, all right, I guess might as well give the album a run through now. And it's metalcore. That's just what it is.
Yeah. As I Lay Dying is very good at making a metalcore man's metalcore. I mean, it's quintessential verse chorus breakdown. There's not really much variation in their songs. And I went back and listened to their entire discography a couple months ago because I thought if everything was like Shaped by Fire, that I was going to find a band I could really enjoy. And I think that A, Shaped by Fire is their best album, and B, if you asked me to distinguish any song I heard off of their previous discography, I could not tell you because it all sounds the same.
And even Shaped by Fire falls into that.
Oh yeah, it's just that Shaped by Fire is very good, and when you have a bunch of good songs that all sound the same, you have a bunch of very good songs. I think that ironically, Tim Lambesis going to prison was the best thing that could have happened to this band. For people who don't know, he hired a hitman to kill his wife. I think it was because he wanted kids and she didn't, or something along those lines. And he paid a hitman who was an undercover cop $30,000 to kill his wife. And that was only the start of the Chronicles, because once he went to prison, he was on steroids, like prior to going in there. And so when he got cut off his steroids, he started growing tits, like in prison. And so that was always fun to see in the news. But yeah, no, he came out better than ever.
Like a second.
Yeah.
And now he never
And
takes
have
off his shirt.
no idea what happened the last minute. Where am I?
Yeah. Dude, he spaces out and he comes back. Like, yeah, this dude grew tits in prison. Trying to kill his wife, But yeah, no. I mean, As I Lay Dying's tragic backstory aside, the song is okay. Yeah. I don't think it's better than anything off of Shaped by Fire. I think that if this was on that album, it would be one of the weaker tracks. But at the same time,
it's a B-side.
Yeah, it fits right in the same sort of style, and I can't say I'm like upset with it or don't like it or anything.
I haven't gotten tired of it since it came out, but I haven't been replaying it all that much either. Yeah. Especially because I listened to Shaped by Fire the same day that song came out, and then I was able to grace my ears with Blinded and Only After We Fall In, and that's been taking up a lot of replay time. So
yeah,
it's good.
I think our next one is a good one for our boy Justin to pipe in on. Breaking the Mirror.
I actually haven't listened to this one. This is on my list of tracks I need to listen to.
You haven't listened to this. Out of everybody here, you have not listened to this.
Derek, hear me out. Hear me out, okay? I said listen to it more.
Okay.
He didn't listen because of the April Fool's thing. I did to him. The Hurricane.
Oh yeah, that's stupid. I can't believe it's 2020 and I got rickrolled.
I can't believe all of us fell for that. I can't believe all of us fell for that.
I had to get rickrolled to do it too.
So. For reference, he posted a quote unquote leak of the new Fit for a King single, and it was just a fucking rickroll.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Because of course we're all idiots and click new stuff.
Breaking the Mirror.
Yeah, so this is definitely like one of the tracks I need to listen to more. It's one of the 3 on our list to talk about. I like it. It's pretty good. I think there's not much for me to say. It's definitely like really good fit for a king. Derek, you might have more to say.
I was gonna say it seems a bit more melodic than most of the stuff off Dark Skies.
Yeah,
it wasn't quite what I was expecting. But a guitar solo into a breakdown is always something I can appreciate.
Oh, always.
So like you said, I think it's pretty good. It's not my favorite fit for a king song.
Mm.
But if I got a whole album like this, I think I'd be pretty happy and satisfied. He did say on Twitter, I think his name is Ryan Kirby?
Yep.
I think so.
That there are going to be a couple more songs like this on the album. There are going to be some that are more in the way of Dark Skies.
Have you seen
in the sense that they're heavier?
The concert video of the new song?
I have not.
With Rio from
with
Crystal
Rio.
Lake?
Oh, I need that in my life.
That sounds good. That sounds.
I like that shitty live version better than this song.
You see,
Man.
So this is the only Fit for a King song that I've listened to. I haven't listened to any of their previous stuff. I haven't listened to Dark Skies at all. So, like, as a standalone single, I enjoyed it. Like, I enjoyed it. I gave it a fair few replays. It's solid.
Yeah, it's nothing to write home about, but it's still very good. And yeah, I mean, I don't really have much else to say about it. I don't think anything about it really stands out. There were no moments in it that I felt like completely wowed by or I thought were very unique, but overall a very solid song.
All right, shall we move on
to
Falling Apart by Captives? This is one that I'm going to advocate the fuck out of.
I'm falling apart.
This was my song of the month until Talk to a Friend came out. And it's so good. Like, this is their first song since their debut EP last year. And they are just riding off of that momentum. I think this is probably the best song that they've written, the best song they've released.
Agree.
They open the song with "Hold Me Hopelessness." That line, that's a good line. There's another line too. If I pull up the lyrics, it's like, "I'm worth more than my face" or something like that. But it's right before.
It's like replacing Mask. Hold on. I know which one you're talking about.
You look it up.
We're all frantically Googling the lyrics.
Yeah, I think this is a fantastic song.
No, I think this is my favorite Captive song. I mean, they've got like 7. So
hold on. I am more than just a face that hides beneath the mask I wear, a mask I can't replace.
Yep.
Actually, no. The full thing is, I'm worth more than I believe. I'm more than just a face.
Yep, those two lines there, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah. Hides beneath the mask I wear, a mask I can't replace.
What? Oh no, go ahead. My bad.
No, I was just gonna say I've never heard of this band before.
Really?
I don't entirely blame you because they literally only have one EP out in this single. But
that said, they've got 200,000 monthly listeners on Spotify with 7 songs out. I mean, this single's got 460K.
Yeah, this song's been.
They hit
the YouTube algorithm just right.
They're on Dreambound.
Yeah.
I feel like
hit that YouTube algorithm just right.
Dreambound has a very interesting duality. Where
it's weird.
They put out so many bands, and you either get a song that gets like, 10 to 30,000 views, and it's like whatever, or you get some that end up with like 200, 300, 400,000 easy.
Dream State's breakthrough song "White Lies" was on Dreambound before they kind of blew up. They blew up off of White Lies, which came off of Dreambound.
What I want to know is how Dreambound finds all these bands.
Yeah.
Like, they cite so many bands, and they're just like,
door to door.
Yeah, they're not going to, hey, you do post-hardcore? Yeah? Oh, boy, I got an offer for you.
Is Painting Promises on Dreambound? Do you know?
I do not know, no.
Because they released a single in February that's also incredible. If we were doing February, I'd talk about it, but...
yeah.
Yeah, I think Falling Apart is a fantastic song. It's just good all the way through. It's got drums, it's got guitars.
Their vocalist is
Oh,
wow, it's got drums and guitars. Oh my goodness, groundbreaking.
I know.
Their vocalist is so talented.
For real.
Oh my goodness, I think he shines the most on this song out of all of theirs that they've put out so far. But I mean, their EP that they put out last year was amazing. I just want to point out real quick in this song, I'm having to pretend, but I'm not fooling anyone, and now I can't win either way. I'm forgetting my own name, despite the medicine, the colors fade away. That is some phenomenal songwriting.
Isn't there a lyric about something about like painting?
Yeah, they say a picture paints 1,000 words, but the colors on the canvas have blurred me into the background.
Yeah, I love that line. Those two lines there. That was one of the ones that stood out to me for sure.
I mean, overall, just
this
instrumentally,
band is like probably one of the biggest like rising bands at this point.
Yeah, and when the song's weakest aspect is its instruments, and they're still very good. That's definitely a song that I could recommend to pretty much anyone. I mean, this blew me away compared to their other material, and their other material is still very good. So this comes with one of the highest recommendations that I can give for any of the singles or even albums that we're going to talk about tonight. But
all right, let's move on to this next one. I don't know if any of you guys have listened to this next one.
I have,
but Gravity by Holding Absence.
Every time I sleep at night, I feel the daisies hold my eyes. What can I do?
I think that this is their best song. I'm gonna put that out there.
This is the only song I've heard from them, and I was blown away.
Was their album last year or 2018?
It was last year.
I remember listening to that album and not being entirely blown away by anything, but at the same time, like I didn't hate anything I heard either. It was just okay.
I agree.
This single I think is better than anything off of that album. That said, it hasn't quite hooked me yet. Is definitely there. I just haven't stumbled into it yet, and I give it a re-listen every couple of days because it showed up on my release radar, and I've tried to spin it a couple of times, and I mean it's good. I just haven't gotten into it yet, but I think that might be more my fault than the band's because everything's there. I mean it's just a good song.
When I first heard the vocals on the song, don't hate me for this, but I almost got like vibes of Johnny Craig in like the vocal range. Like in certain parts.
I can see it.
Like the drumming part at the beginning, like that felt kind of out of place on the first time I listened to it, but I really like it now. It's a good song.
Yeah, no. I think that the vocalist sounds a lot less restrained in this than he did on the album. Because I may be remembering things incorrectly, but their album last year seemed, I don't want to say one-noted, but it didn't seem like the vocalist had very much room to explore and use his range in a lot of the songs.
This song, he gets his range. He gets out of his range.
Absolutely. It feels like that album was him finding not necessarily his place, but getting more comfortable, and that this is really him letting go. And if we get an album that sounds like all these, there is good top 10 potential there.
Yeah, I think this was the B-side from their album.
It might be.
It might.
I'm really not sure. It's kind of hard to tell at this point with like. Because I know that, like, for instance, with one that we'll talk about in 2 from now, Solence, you know, they're already coming out with stuff for a new EP or album, and they already had an album, last year?
Yeah, 4 months ago. 5 months ago.
When bands are putting out material left and right nowadays, you know, it's kind of hard to tell. Yeah. But I was going to say, I don't know if there's any release date attached to this, so if it's a B-side, that'd probably be why. But
it's a good song. It's really
good. At the very least, I need to go back and re-listen to that 2019 album. because I may have just been missing something.
That's their 2019 album's high on my I need to listen to. I have a Google Doc of albums I need to listen to with like 50 different bands on it. And this album is definitely one of the ones that has my interest peaked.
Yeah, Jacob and Justin, did you guys hear this song at all?
No.
I have heard snippets. I've heard snippets of it. I haven't really sat down and like had a good like looping session to see how I feel about it. It sounds really good. I like it. It's just I need more listens to it, and I've had other songs on my playlist that
that's about where I'm at too.
There's one that I left out of this list that I know you're very excited about. I'll probably let you talk about that one at the end.
Which? Yeah, that one.
Yeah, that one.
Oh yeah, that one. Jacob, I have no fucking clue what they're talking about. Please help. Oh yeah, guys, that one. So excited.
Well, let's move on to the next one. Frustration by Memorist. I don't know how many of you guys listened to this one, but
like once or twice, and then didn't play it again.
This band only has 3 songs out, but this is probably my favorite from them.
Really?
I
Okay.
think so it's close between this and Loss. Loss never.
Yeah.
Like I added Loss when that was their only song that they had released, and I was like, yeah, it's good, but I never went like. I really never wanted to replay it all too much. Like it's a good song.
So
Frustration clicked for me a lot more.
This is another Dreambound brand. Yeah, Dreambound band. Again, I don't know where they find these bands, but I'm really thankful that they do.
There's just a Craigslist for.
Yeah. Everybody's throwing in their Dreambound applications. They just click yes. Right. They got the select all option. Like, yeah, sure, why not? And I feel like for every dud that you get from that label, you get something that's
good.
Yeah. And I think that this is one of those examples of a band that's good and has a lot of potential. Mm-hmm. I don't follow them on social media or anything, so I'm not sure if we have an album coming with this.
I have no idea.
But I think Loss is still my favorite single of the 3. Frustration was good. The vocalist has a very
it's got an accent to it.
Yeah, I mean the accent's there, but the delivery too. He can put a lot of emotion into it that I think his accent only furthers.
Yeah,
like especially in I know it's not Frustration, but like in Loss, when that second verse, or he's sort of screaming the lyrics. Mm-hmm. I think that this band has a lot of talent. Frustration's my second favorite single out of the 3 that they've released. I think that Loss is far and above them, and Frustration is also far and above Love. Mm-hmm. So I'm very curious to see what future singles or the album will sound like. But I mean, overall, it's one of those songs it's good. I listen to it. I don't feel any need to go revisit it per se, but it was by no means a bad song.
This song released on YouTube a week before it went onto all other platforms. And in that 1 week where it was only on YouTube, I replayed that song a lot. Like probably a good 10, 15 times just from it showing up in my recommended page on the homepage. But then by the time it hit Spotify, I played it a couple times, but like by that point it had kind of faded out for me. It's still a really good song though.
So I just put it in YouTube to see how many views they've got. And Frustration has 61K as opposed to 24,000 plays on Spotify, which is a contrast to Falling Apart by Captives that we just talked about. They've got more streams on Spotify than YouTube.
Interesting.
So we were talking about hitting the YouTube algorithm.
That's weird too, because that song came out first.
Yeah, the Captive song also came out first.
It came out like Monday on the YouTube, and then didn't come to streaming services till like the Friday.
So that begs a question: did they end up in some Spotify playlist?
I think they ended up in like the new core, like the one of the generated Spotify playlists,
and probably pretty high up in it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I I would recommend this just because I feel like, as opposed to some of the other things we've talked to, it's definitely a bit more accessible overall. With regards to not as many unclean or harsher vocals.
Yeah.
I
But-
think
No, go
this
ahead.
is probably like one of the three that are the easiest to listen to.
Yeah.
Captives and then Head Rush.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Overall.
I think those
Maybe
are the
asking
three.
Alexandra in that
Mm.
list as well.
Yeah.
How their
Yeah.
sound is developing.
Kind of.
Well, talk
Maybe-
to a friend above all else. I can't
Yeah,
believe we
yeah.
Oh
forgot
yeah, easily.
Yep.
After we spend 20 minutes talking about it, we're like looking at it in passing, and we're like, yeah, Head Rush.
It's just implied. That's how good it is.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right,
No,
let's,
it just fits between those two.
All right, let's move on to For Good Reasons by Solent.
This song's pretty good.
It's good, yeah.
Full disclosure, I do not like this song.
All right.
Yeah, that's fair.
This band
Yeah,
does
that's
not
completely-
stop releasing music.
Oh,
That's
this is-
true.
Oh yeah, I remember. I
They-
remember hearing this. I was like, "What? What am I listening to?"
They released.
Mhm.
It's definitely very different from like most of their other stuff.
Yeah, so what it is, there's like a weird scale of their songs and how it's gone. So we were talking about the album they released last year, and then suddenly they're putting out, I think this is like their second or third single they've put out this year.
Yeah.
Like this started 2020. A lot of their last album was singles that they put out like years ago. And that would just culminate into one album that had like 4 new songs added to it, which 2 of them were like really good.
Brothers.
Brothers and Serenade. This one in particular sounds more like the song from the album Spit It Out, where it's definitely very heavier instrumentals. Like the vocals are kind of more rough, and that kind of sounds like the sound they're going for now. Like now that they're more comfortable, they're definitely getting a bit harsher.
I feel like Animal in Me was a little bit softer though, which was their
It
other
was-
single from this year.
I think so.
I think
So-
their weakest point is their lyricism.
Yeah,
Um,
the lyrics aren't too good.
The lyrics for this, I don't like when his vocals sound harsher. I mean, like the album that they put out last year, I only found myself returning to one track from that, Empire of the Sun. And the tracks where his vocals were harsher, I really just couldn't get behind. So when you couple that with the lyricism, I mean, the instrumentation on the song is fine, but I haven't really been impressed with this single or any of the other singles that they've put out so far. That said, I do understand why they're doing it. Because my first initial thought when they put out music like this was usually bands will give time for an album to set, and then once everybody's gotten familiar with the songs, they'll go out on a tour or whatever. But thinking about it, you can't really go out on tour. So if they need to make money, I feel like putting out a new album is going to be the way to go for them. Because what other outlets do they have besides merch?
Yeah.
So in that sense, the decision to put out new music so soon makes sense. But I don't know. You guys are definitely higher on this song.
I
than
think
am.
this band shines when they dip into more like the melodic orchestral kind of sound.
Mhm.
Like
Mhm.
in Heaven, in Death Do Us Part, Empire of the Sun.
Oh
in
god, and
particular.
Heavy Rain.
Yep.
Yes,
Yeah.
that is
I
a
think
good
when they
song.
dip into that, that's when they're at their strongest.
Yeah,
I mean,
They have
I
elements
hope-
of that in For Good Reasons in like that one section of like the second verse.
Yeah,
But
the chorus as well is pretty. I like
Yeah.
the chorus. It's just a lot of the instrumentals kind of fight against the sound they're trying to go for. In my opinion.
Yeah, they've got such a great understanding of how like rock metal instrumentation combined with orchestral elements combined with electronic elements, like how that can all fit together. In the same sort of vein as potentially an Imminence or especially a Normandy.
mhm.
Um,
Yeah, this band in Normandy, I definitely see the connection between the two.
when they get that down, they sound amazing. When they don't, it's very forgettable for me.
Mhm. I think that pretty much sums up that song. I don't really have too much else to add.
Yeah.
Let's move on to this next one. Attention by Picturesque.
Attention,
Yes.
colon.
Attention,
colon, get it
ATTN
right.
colon.
Yeah, God.
I love this song. Full disclosure. So good.
I've only given this one like 1 or 2 listens, one right before we recorded this, just so I could refamiliarize myself with it. But yeah, it's solid. It's good.
This is... I didn't know that they were going to have an album, because they've been releasing standalone singles for the past year and a half.
I've been waiting for them to release an album. They're a band I've had my eye on for a while, but I'm like, I want to wait for an album to come out.
So we were talking earlier about how, like, oh, the violence is 10 months removed, and that's making it to the album. They're going to have singles 2 years, year and a half, 2 years removed that are going to end up on this album. So all the previous singles between their last album, which I believe is called Back to Beautiful, and now are going to end up on that album. So we're probably going to get only 5 or 6 new songs. But if this is what the rest of the album sounds like, as well as songs like Swipe and Necessary, I don't think this band can miss.
This is
every
a band I've got
single
my eye on, for sure.
Yeah, they were one of the first bands I found as well, when I threw on the Spotify radio for Coma by Issues way back when. And so I've had my eye on them for probably 2.5 years now, and everything that they've put out is just amazing song after amazing song. They've got the millennial post-hardcore sort of thing down. If you think about it, like Swipe with regards to like Tinder or whatever, they've just got different, like, more modern references in their songs that gives them a bit of an edge. And the solo in this song is phenomenal. The album art actually for this, that butterfly in the mousetrap, very reminiscent of like Our Last Night, whatever their last album was.
Let the Darkness Overcome or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know, but like I said, I don't think this band can miss.
Would you say it's fair to compare their sound to Too Close to Touch in a sense?
I would say so.
I haven't heard too much.
Yeah,
of them, but from what I heard, ATTN colon. It sounded vaguely similar.
Yeah, they're in the same vein. I'm really mad that I missed them with Hands Like Houses in December. But I got to see them with Slaves and Escape the Fate back in October 2018, and he sounds identical live as he does on the record. So if there were any band I think that could break through in any capacity, in the same realm as like Captives has, in a sense, I think that this band is it. That all the elements are there, and this is just overall a really, really good song.
All right, Make Them Suffer. Erase Me.
This song, amazing.
This was my first song I heard from them. Oh, a lot of these songs on this list are bands that I'm just getting into. Because I have a lot of bands that I should listen to that I just haven't at this point. And Make Them Suffer is one of them.
So about that gap earlier that I talked about, where it's just gonna be me being silent for like the next couple of discussions.
Hey, it was nice.
I just need you to. We just need you to yell as soon as you hear a song. You just go, "Ooh, I know that one!" and pop on.
It just doesn't even. I don't even need to have a listen to it. Just be like, I know it.
Yo, I've heard this one before. I don't have much to say on this either because I heard it for the first time about 2 hours ago. It's been on my radar to listen to, and I meant to do it, and I never got to it. So I'm gonna leave most of the discussion to you guys on this one because I just have less playtime with it.
See, Derek, you were smart and actually listened to the tracks before we started this whole discussion. I was not prepared at all. I just got back before we started.
I mean, I went through the track listing for all the singles and picked the ones I thought I wanted to listen to. So, like, when Fever 333 rolls around, catch me not discussing that because I couldn't give less of a fuck about that band. But,
I think there's one person that band's on here.
yeah, we're just gonna sit back and watch Jacob. I'll grab some popcorn, refill my drink.
Yeah.
Not chicken
Right.
nuggets. What the?
But oh damn, silly me. I'm so sorry. But no,
Spaghetti, you're right.
I don't have very much prior history with this band either, and this is amazing on all fronts. But I don't have anything specific to really attest to because I haven't given enough spins. I've listened to it once to really go into detail about anything. So I'm gonna leave this one up to you guys.
I haven't listened to it a ton either, but I didn't know that this band had a female vocalist to it, and I was pleasantly surprised when I heard her vocals come in for the chorus, and especially at the very end of the song. I don't know like what they do to it, but the way I haven't listened to the song enough to exactly remember what the ending sounds like. I just remember that they do both the
It's like
the heavy
spoken
vocals.
word kind of thing.
I don't know. I just remember the end of this song was like, wow, for me.
It reminds me a lot of their closing track on their previous album, Worlds Apart. What's it called? I can't remember. It's the closing track anyway. Save Yourself. Where he does a lot of like spoken word near the end of the song.
Mhm.
And I don't know, it reminds me of like Imminence, like the emotion in his
Yeah.
voice. You can
I can see
really
that.
feel it. Like I don't know, I just really like that. Another band that does that a lot is The Plot in You.
Which I need to get into that band.
You really do.
I really do. I have so many bands I need to get into. It's ridiculous.
I mean, you've got all the time in the world now.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you got no excuse.
I got an album planned to catch up on tonight, which we'll be talking about later, actually. I think... Yeah, I don't think I have too much else to say about this song. It's... Actually, no. I don't love the Unqueens, but that's probably something that will come with time. They were a little too heavy for my taste.
See, I fucked with them heavy. I loved it.
This band used to be a deathcore band, and they're like transitioning to metalcore. So
I definitely think that there's definitely going to be, whenever an album comes out, don't they have an album coming out or something like that?
yeah,
This is
I
attached
definitely-
to something.
it's
I definitely expect
Uh,
for there to be some songs from this album that I'm going to really enjoy. This one's got me optimistic.
expected June 5th, 2020. How to Survive a Funeral.
It better not get pushed back.
Yeah.
Like Bury Tomorrow pissed me off. That's entirely unrelated, though. My bad. I got emotional for a second there.
All right, let's move on. So, Boston Manor released 2 new songs in March. I haven't listened to them, so
I don't
know.
like them.
Really?
No,
Do you like Welcome to the Neighborhood at least?
Yes, I do. I think that.
Sorry, go ahead.
No. Go ahead.
Okay,
No, you-
Rat King reminds me a lot of that album.
I.
And-
Hurry up and kiss already, God!
Go ahead.
No, by all means. I'm sorry. Fine. You know what?
this is why we're a hive mind. We all just
Dude,
literally think the same exact thing. Goddamn.
I don't like the mixing on any of these singles. I understand that this band has a vibe of sorts that they went for with Welcome to the Neighborhood, and especially the transition from what I understand was more. I haven't listened to anything before. What I understand was more of a pop punk sort of background. That said, all of these singles have been very forgettable for me because of the mixing. They're all okay. I don't think that any of them are better than any of the material I heard on Welcome to the Neighborhood, which I think has multiple fantastic songs to offer. Based on what I'm hearing from these singles, I would think that this would be the album preceding Welcome to the Neighborhood, in the sense that this feels more like a unfinished, we're figuring out, where we want to go sound. Yeah. And then Welcome to the Neighborhood is the culmination of that, as opposed to the other way around. Because as it stands, I mean, I'll listen to this album when it comes out, but we're 5 or 6 singles deep, and I have absolutely no excitement for it.
This is the it's the 5th. Liquid. Forgot about Liquid.
They've released a ton of singles in a short span of time.
Liquid's a good song though. Unrelated.
I think when I went to check on these songs on when they were released, both On a High Ledge and Rat King released on the same day.
Yeah. In the same vein as who did that recently? Oh, I'm gonna lose my mind. Ignore me. I'm gonna think about it for a second.
It was Requiem's Romans. Released 2.
Yes.
That was in September though.
Yes.
That was definitely.
That was September. Oh,
yeah. I don't remember it being September. I thought it was like.
That was the same day Dayseeker's album came out.
Oh, you're right.
So wait.
So that's why I forgot everything else in the world.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we had nothing since then. No.
What from Weekend was? That's a good point. Where have they been? They did that merch drop.
I saw them.
To Plant a Seed 10-year tour.
I feel like they were probably going to drop some stuff during that tour, but because it got called off, they're waiting.
I actually saw them on the last day before everything went to hell.
Yeah.
How was that, by the way?
It was. I'll talk about it at the end of the show when we.
Okay. But while we're on that subject, real quick, I just went and looked, and Carry the Weight is chilling at 3.3 million listens. So it's not like people have been disinterested in the band since then. They just haven't really done much.
All right.
In the realm of releasing new music, but.
All right. Anyone else have anything to say on those Boston Manor songs, or good to move on for a very quick moment?
Not as good as Welcome to the Neighborhood.
Yep, I agree.
All right. Next up, Fever 333, Presence is Strength.
Obtain the victory the way we planned, then I be damned, guess I'm a part of it. Down with the kings, all with the servants, we'll be the last one.
I don't know. I feel like I'm probably the only one that really likes Fever 333 a lot.
I'm a casual listener.
Their 2019 album was a top 5 album of the year for me, just barely. But I really enjoyed that. Presence of Strength, if I remember correctly, this was a song they wrote in 24 hours. So, I wasn't expecting the best from them. It's solid. It's more of the same that I've come to expect from Fever 333 at this point, with their political agenda that they've got going on. It's an alright song. It's not good. It's not as good as anything off of their album, but it's solid.
So when you say 24 hours, was it like a live stream sort of thing where
I don't know exactly.
Took donations
I just remember hearing somewhere that they wrote it in 24 hours.
Didn't Bring Me do that with Ludens?
All right. Well,
yeah, but like Ludens is 10 times the song this is. Yeah, Justin popped in for a second there.
I have no idea what's going on. Yeah, so I was going to say, while you're looking that up, back on Talk to Your Friend for a second. Within the last 6 months is now my second most played song.
Jeez.
All right. I'll look up those stats after this.
Yeah, let me see here. Presence of Strength, Fever 333. I'm not seeing... Oh, wait, here we go. Here's a news.
We got Destruction or Strength, and then Presence is Strength on this show.
So much strength.
So is
the songs were so weak.
Destruction or Presence?
Yep. Soaked in bleach.
I'm gonna kill myself. So after looking it up, they just did it in 24 hours for the hell of it. There was nothing attached to it, right. Which seems like a strange flex to me. If there's no real reason behind it, I prefer that a band put more time into crafting what they're going to put out.
If this goes onto an EP or album, I'll be surprised.
I guess it depends on how well it does.
At the same time, they released Kingdom and Vandals as well before this, so they might try and lump it in with that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Which, on a very quick point, Kingdom and Vandals are both pretty weak as well.
Agree. We can agree on something with Fever 333.
Like, their album was really good, but everything they've done since then has been pretty underwhelming for me. Other than that one remix song that they had of One of Us, it was like an EDM remix, and I don't love electro a ton anymore. I've grown out of it a bit, but that electro remix of One of Us was actually good and is better than any of these 3 singles that they've released since. All right, let's move on real quick. Worldwide Suicide in Heart's Wake.
It's a worldwide suicide! Worldwide suicide!
I'm gonna let Jacob go on this one.
It's a song for a cause, right? It's not going to be on the album, is it? I hope not.
I mean, everything they do is for a cause. Like their previous album, what was it called? Arc. Because I thought Arc was supposed to be something for like oceans. Yeah, like cleaning up the oceans or whatever, and they got together with fans and cleaned up the beaches or something like that.
I did not know that.
Yeah, I think most of their music is very it's like nature, climate activism sort of thing.
Makes sense now.
My thing is, my exposure to this band is limited. I only know a couple of their songs from. I keep saying this when I first got into this, because it all came up on Spotify Radio or whatever. And the songs that I have been exposed to were majority cleans. So when I heard this, I was not expecting 1 minute and 57 seconds of brutal uncleans.
It's very different from what they've done in the past.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is a change in form, and I'm not sure I like it.
Yeah,
it's like Kublai Khan, but I think I prefer Kublai Khan's last album, which has actually really grown on me as time's gone on.
I haven't even listened to that.
I mean, that whole album is just like 2.5 minute songs of some dude screaming "fuck you" over and over again, basically, which is kind of what this sounded like to me, to be quite honest. I don't know. This came and went very quickly at like under 2 minutes. I don't know. I'm very indifferent. This song is
1:57.
That's 1:57. I'm never getting back.
58 for me.
Ooh,
okay, well, it's because you're in Canada. But yeah,
Time passes slower because it's cold.
Like you said, I hope this isn't attached to an album. I want something more in the vein of Arc, not this. If I wanted this, I got 18 million other bands that sound like this that I could go listen to.
I think I gave this song like 30 seconds of a listen before that's heavy and not for me. And then I moved on with my day. That's about all I have to say about that song. It's a heavy one. I
think this next one might get Dustin.
Watch the video.
Support the cause. Commit worldwide suicide. Like, what?
No.
Wait, pause. Back up.
Coronavirus pulling up to the worldwide suicide. I'm pretty sure
it was for the Australian wildfires, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think the whole premise of the song is that like we're all slowly killing our planet and therefore committing worldwide suicide.
Yeah, that sounds accurate.
I don't know. It's very on brand for them. I wouldn't be surprised.
All right, next up, Secrets with the Come Down.
Justin, did you hear this one?
No. But I know the band. Does that help?
Congratulations.
I've heard the name.
I am probably the high on this out of every. I think it'd be safe to say.
Probably.
Because you two heard it, right?
Is this the song you said that was the breakdown sounds distorted?
Yeah.
All right. I liked it other than the breakdown then.
I liked the clean choruses. I still haven't found a vibe with the uncleans from Secrets, but
Yeah, their last album I think came out in 2018, and their clean vocalist is very, very talented. I don't think in this single or the last one they've really had a chance to make him shine. I mean, he sounds good here, but I mean, you got a song on the last album like Last Time where it's just only him doing cleans, and you really get to see what he can do.
Down.
That's my favorite Secret song, I would say. I don't know if I'm necessarily super impressed with either of these singles. I like this one a lot better than the last one. This is a good song. The mixing has sounded a little off, especially on this song, but on both of the singles. And I think that might come with them losing their record label. That the funding for the mixing that they had on the last album, which is notably better, might not be there anymore. But overall, I mean, the distorted breakdown, I've found myself getting more and more into, just because even if it sounds a bit more muddled, it's still heavy as fuck, and I can appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, I think that there's an album attached to these singles coming out sometime in the summer, which I'm more excited for than a lot of the other singles that I've heard so far that have attached albums. But at the same time, I'm not keeping my hopes up too much, because mixing is a very important make or break element of any given song, I feel like, and having a whole album that sounds off might not be a great thing. But
tomorrow.
Okay. Yeah. This new one sounds a lot better though than Black Flame. I think they're singles, but of course I won't know till the summer. Even though I should have known last week. I'm not bitter.
Delayed crab rave.
Did that
So upset.
that replacement bathtub and toaster come in yet?
Oh my god.
No, but I wish it had. I think we get to go to a Jake exclusive.
Yeah. We're gonna glance over these next few pretty quick.
Yeah, these three are all you, bro.
Yeah, and a little bit of Quill, Justin. Anyway,
Someday.
Out of Elitist Way, Habit.
In the flip of a switch, I'm like a fiend. Lock me up tight, throw away the key.
It's
It's alright.
in my opinion, it's their best song that they've released since What It Takes, which was spring of last year. There were only like 2 songs in between those two, but I think, like, I don't have super high expectations for Out of Elitist Way ever.
No,
Felt that one.
Ever since Still Hungry, like, they've just
I
been on
found
a
them-
decline for me.
I found them on Still Hungry, and that's one of my favorite songs that I've ever heard. And then
yeah,
everything else has just been like, yeah, it exists, but
I'm
like,
still
Yeah.
hungry.
I'm also just not a big fan of the way they did the
they do
releases
some
for the singles.
weird. They release their songs in really strange ways.
They had to wait for the month. Was it the monthly listeners or like certain plays on What
yeah.
It Takes?
It was either, I think it was when What It Takes hits 5 million, or when they hit 1 million monthly listeners, they'll release Down for Anything. And they started saying that in July, and the song didn't release until October.
Yeah, and then they named their latest tour the Habit Tour. No reasoning behind it, and then the single just released at the end of the tour.
They don't even have 1 million monthly listeners.
At least do what Silent Planet did, name it Trilogy, then release the song a few weeks before the tour.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd be fine. I'd be
smarter.
fine with it a few weeks to at least hype up the tour.
Yeah.
But afterward, it's no.
The way they release songs is just so strange. I don't understand that band half the time. I just like,
And then-
whenever new stuff comes out, it's like, yeah, alright, that's fine.
this song in general is not bad. It's
Yeah.
better than the slower stuff that they had most of 2019.
Yep.
But it's not on the same level as Still Hungry. Like it's still kind of.
I don't think they're ever gonna reach that level again. To be
it's
honest,
still kind of that not really pop rock, more just kind of
rock.
Yeah, rock, just
Yeah.
the general rock sound that really doesn't have a flavor to it.
It's about as cliche rock as you can sound.
Oh yeah, very much.
I don't think I have too much more to say about this song.
No.
So, next
I
up.
do have something to say.
All right.
I'm gonna get some milk. I'll be right back.
All right. Another one for me and Justin to discuss a little bit. Let's Go by Zayd Wolf.
Let's go. Welcome to the show. All eyes on me. Let's go. Let's go.
I only listened to the song like twice, and it kind of fell off for me.
On the contrary, this was one of my most played songs of the month. I really like this song. This is the only alt-rock song we're talking about on this entire list.
Yeah.
Basically. Depending on how much you want to count Half-Hearted, which we're talking about later. But
Yeah.
Let's Go by Zayd Wolf. The singles that they've released, or that he's released since their 2018 album, they've all been solid. Cold Blooded was really good. It made my top 100 of the year last year when Spotify did that playlist. I think Let's Go is going to be the same for me. I found a lot of replay value in this. Yeah, I really like it. I don't know. It's a good song. It's what I like Zayd Wolf for. I like when he goes for the more intense cinematic alt rock kind of stuff.
Yeah, it kind of just fell off for me. I don't like it. It's just not something like earlier. It's not something that's on my repeat.
Mm-hmm. All right, and actually no, there's two more singles we're talking about. Really, this is the last one though. Human by Scarlet Riot. This one's just one that I'm taking by myself, real quick. So Scarlet Riot are one of the first bands that I found when I was starting to get into this back in 2017. Female fronted, and they've got pretty heavy guitars and drums. Their vocals were entirely clean. They weren't anything outstanding, but they were solid. I enjoyed it at the time. Definitely fell off with me over the years. But then they come out with Human, and out of nowhere, they've added a unclean male vocalist into their repertoire, and I don't mind it, like, at all. Like, if this song released 3 years ago when I first found Scarlet Riot, I wouldn't have liked it, but now that I've grown into my more heavier taste that I'm at now, I like the addition of the unclean backing vocals that they've got in this song. The breakdown in this song is actually fantastic. Reminds me a lot of Break, which would probably be my favorite song from them. Yes, they're all right. Scarlet Riot's all right.
I actually did listen to this, and I have to say the unclean vocalist sounds like the guy from Amaranth, actually.
Yeah, it's got that kind of growly tone to it. Yeah, I don't really have too much more to say about this one.
I got milk.
Welcome back. You came right back in time for the last single we're talking about.
Oh,
today.
God bless.
Corona Viscerated by Vermicide Violence. I saved this one for last for a reason.
Oh, what a work of art.
Okay.
We gotta pull up the lyrics here.
Yeah.
No.
Off the top of my head, 6 feet of contact is all that it needs. Respiratory droplets from a sneeze. This song is art in the fact that it is a beautiful satire-esque take on what's going on right now, but it's also a really good song.
I only listened to it the one time that it was linked in the chat, and it was hilarious.
I mean, it's
The low quality music video makes it as well.
oh yeah, no, absolutely. Let me pull up the name of it on YouTube.
We
real
talked
quick
about
so
at the
somebody
beginning of
can-
the show with Talk
It's
to
like-
a Friend that Talk to a Friend was like one of the most relatable songs to the current time
Yeah,
period.
this one takes the cake.
This one is the song. It literally has Corona in the name. I don't think you
Oh,
can
yeah.
get much closer.
It's the name of the video on YouTube is Coronavirus, but it's a brutal deathcore song by Boketo Media, which makes sense because I think Jared Dines does the solo in this. No, I've shown this to people who don't listen to this type of music at all, and they still enjoyed it just for the
Yeah.
pure entertainment
Yeah.
value of what it
There's
is.
definitely there's definitely just raw entertainment value out of this song.
For me, I fucking love the song. This thing made my playlist. I listen to it often. Like I don't know what to say. It's good. It's just very solid. I don't know if I would even call this deathcore. Honestly.
Yeah, I would.
Really?
There's no cleans.
I mean, yeah, but so August Burns Red doesn't have cleans, and they put
True.
out metalcore, however shitty. Yeah, I it's very heavy metal. Say, deathcore to me is more like blast beats and gutturals. This just sounded well. Now that you say that, yeah, I'll give it to you. I'll give it to you. You win this round.
If it's not deathcore, it's on the borderline.
Yeah, I mean, either way, like I said, I don't know like if the majority of people enjoy this song, but watch the video.
At
Look at
least
the
give it a
lyrics.
chance. Give it a chance.
Yeah,
If you don't enjoy the song, you'll at least find it funny.
Mm-hmm. No, it's great. I'm very happy with this, and it also is this band's first song.
Is it?
Yes, I think the band's Vermicide Violence, which sounds like a deathcore band name. So again, I'll concede that one to Jacob. But yeah, no, I'm very. If this is the sort of
I think the whole
creativity,
album's about this. To be honest, it's gonna be like this.
really,
I'm
God
pretty
bless.
sure.
So something in the vein of beating a dead horse or whatever. You know what I'm talking about? By
Yeah, I know that album.
yeah,
Jared Alonji.
yeah. Which he said, well, that's the same person as Jared Dines, isn't it?
No,
I thought they were one and the same.
no.
Today you learned.
Jared Alonji wrote this song. Jared Dines is featured on this song.
Okay, yeah. See, there's the
That's where the confusion comes from.
yeah.
The only
Okay.
two good metal YouTubers. Well, actually, I wouldn't say that.
Well, I mean, that's where the confusion is going.
Meme YouTubers.
Yeah, because
Both
if
named
they
Jared.
if they both do
Spelled
YouTube,
differently.
I can't keep track of that. I don't watch enough. But yeah, I mean, if the whole album's like this, I'm in for a great ride. But just overall, being able to like see what other material this band's going to put out, especially if this is how creative it's going to be, with the talent, both vocally and instrumentally. The vocalist has a great range.
I hate to interrupt, but I just got a Valorant drop. So I'm just
Oh!
no, I'm just kidding.
we take those?
All right.
We have different
I-
priorities here.
I just got dip. I'm out of here. See you guys.
Yo, wait, what the fuck?
Alright,
You gotta sit here and review Silverstein.
All right, so
Oh.
let's get right into it. That's it for all the singles. We're really almost an hour and a half into this discussion, aren't we?
Oh yeah.
I expected this to go on for like 45 minutes tops.
No, we're idiots.
Yeah,
I knew it was
21
going to go
singles.
longer. I knew it was going to go longer before, way before.
I didn't
Yeah.
know what to expect for this, in all honesty. I'm just here to have a good time. So let's get into it. Silverstein with their album, A Beautiful Place to
Silverstein.
Drown.
Yo, hold on,
Get it
hold on,
right.
hold on. We need a new
Hold
host.
up.
What an idiot! Oh
I'm
my
leaving the room. You guys can talk about it yourself. You guys can talk about it yourself.
Infinite, when the darkness finds me, all this feels infinite, like the brain is blind.
Dude, he's actually gone. Wait, I didn't think we'd lose him. Where, we need a
Good,
host.
ready.
I
Oh
just- I
shit,
just
he's
walked
back!
out the
Oh,
room.
you
I walked out the room for comedic effect, and I walked back in.
Jesus
dude, you
Christ.
got me. It was even funnier when you explained it.
All right. I haven't listened to much of this album. You guys take it away.
Oh, it's so good.
It really is.
Oh my god, I've been turning Madness, Shapeshift, and Say Yes since it came out. Like, those are my top 3. And then Burning Down, I've also been just listening to there and there. I've just been listening to the entire album. It's really good.
This is my favorite Silverstein album.
Yeah,
I would say.
But I heard
I'm not
reviews
so big
about
on this band, but
Yeah, there's a lot that this album has to offer.
Yeah, I heard people saying that this is going to be a new sound for them, and I like where this is.
Yeah, I am
It
A-okay
sounds-
with that.
is it like Retrograde?
By who? Crown the Empire?
No, by Silverstein. They're pretty.
Oh, yeah, it's just so much about their discography I know.
Yeah, I wouldn't know either.
my
I literally
Canadian
got
boys.
Oh, these guys are Canadian?
gross.
I'm not listening to them anymore.
Yeah, wait, I take it all back. This album sucks.
I've listened to one
Nah.
song off this album. It's called Infinite, and it's good. So,
That's actually my least favorite song on this album.
all right.
I'm going to be fully
Alright.
transparent.
Well then, I don't know what to expect anymore.
That
Bye, Jake.
said, yeah, bye, Jake. In saying that, I think that this album's strength lies in its features.
There's a lot of
Um,
features on this.
Yeah, for the most part, I mean, Bad Habits, Burn It Down, Madness, and Take What You Give, particularly Take What You Give, are my favorite songs off this album.
I'm going to hear
Um,
that you said Madness, and you can continue on.
Uh-huh. And it's because of what the features have to offer. They bring a sort of new life to a lot of the songs. And of course you've got hold on, I gotta scroll up in the playlist here. A lot of them are, I mean, the first 4 tracks, 3 of them have features on it. And you get this like 2-song break where it's just Silverstein, and then back into it with Madness. And I feel like in the same way that an interlude acts to sort of break up the album and divide it and give you time to breathe, I think that the features act the same way in some aspects on this album. And really my only criticism of those features would be that I wish they were more spaced out with them. It's very front heavy with regards to features. Because after Madness, you get, a 4-song run of just Silverstein. And the songs aren't bad by any means, but when I'm expecting to have something that's going to give me some variation, and then I don't get it, I find myself not disappointed with the second half of this album, but a little less high on it. That said, the closer, Take What You Give, featuring Simple Plan, is my favorite song in this record, bar none. But I assume that is not an opinion shared by Justin here, or Jacob for that matter.
Go ahead.
The entire album as a whole, I just really like. There is obviously the few that I've just been continuously turning, but as a whole, there isn't just one that really excels above the rest. It all fits just really well. It's just a solid album.
Where would you rate it overall this year?
Well, between all the albums I've listened to, which this is the only one that's come out this year, I guess I have to rank it number 1, Jake. I mean, there's not many options.
Well, do you mean overall with Silverstein, or with the albums I've
Just
heard?
albums you've heard
Albums
this year.
that I've listened to.
Oh, well, funny you
If-
mentioned that, because as you said that, I was bringing up my little spreadsheet thing, and it is
Fucking
currently
nerd.
tied for 7th with The Word Alive.
All right.
Oh yeah, World Alive also released. If I had to rank this on a scale of 1 to 10, definitely give it an 8. Maybe a 9.
Yeah, I could see it.
Jacob, you got any last thoughts on this one, or?
Nope. I
Alright.
liked it. I only listened to it once or twice, so.
Yeah, I haven't given the album itself more than the one spin, but I've definitely been revisiting a couple songs from it, and I'm happy with it.
So that's probably the most notable album we're talking about today.
Dude, Invent Animate is right there.
I haven't listened to them, so I wasn't really sure with them.
Why don't we talk about that now?
You want to? All right, let's talk about it. Invent Animate with a new album called I Don't Know because I never listened.
Greyview.
Greyview.
Yeah, wait, it is Greyview, right? I didn't
That rings a bell.
pull that out of my ass.
Yeah. That rings a bell, yeah.
Yeah, it's Greyview. Okay. I didn't know much about this band before I heard it was announced that they were coming back, so I didn't really know that they had anything to come back from, but it's my understanding they have a new vocalist, right?
Yes.
I had zero expectations going into this. And I can honestly say that I was very pleasantly surprised. This album has the best instrumentation I have heard on any album so far this year.
I'm
sensing some disagreement. Hit me with it.
I'm thinking. Trying to think what came out this year.
Because there's been a lot of like good instrumentation. I mean, having my spreadsheet that I can organize different things into, like especially with like instrumentation. I mean, it's nothing else comes close besides Savage Hands, which they put out an album in late February, and that's another one I think everybody should go listen to. But also not what we're talking about. So
yeah. I've heard good things about them.
It's so good. But I think this is almost in the same sort of vein as I Lay Dying for me. Not in the sense that they sound the same, but that I feel like a lot of the tracks, while good individually, can sometimes get muddled together.
Yeah.
The vocal performance sounds very similar on multiple tracks. I might be losing my mind, but their clean vocalist kind of sounds like, or the cleans at least, sound like Philip Strand from Normandy.
You've piqued my attention.
I
don't... Sorry.
What?
Garrett Russell.
Oh, that feature?
I don't think any song he's ever been featured on is bad.
No.
Every feature he's on is incredible. Or every song he's featured in.
Yeah, no.
Garrett
absolutely.
Russell's the
I agree.
vocalist of Silent Planet, right?
Yeah. No, because correct me if I'm wrong, the first couple of tracks don't have cleans, I don't think. And then like as the album goes on, you get progressively more and more I think it's Fireside has the most. And I think it's the only song on the album that starts out with cleans. I could be wrong. But like I said, I was very pleasantly surprised with this album. I think that I'm definitely going to be revisiting it, and it does have top 12 potential. Probably one of the better metalcore albums I've heard all year. Definitely.
There hasn't been much.
Yeah.
That's true.
There was that one day in February, and that's about it.
There's been let me tell you, this band I found entirely unrelated released an album back in I think it was February, and they were called Leached, like Leeched, and that was some shithole metalcore. Oh my goodness, I've never heard a worse in my life. It was terrible. And so to have that kind of juxtaposition that for every Leached album I've got something like Invent Animate is very refreshing. And I am very, very much looking forward to what the rest of 2020 has to offer as well. I mean, I think that there are a lot of good metalcore releases in the near future. Bury Tomorrow, which I now get to look forward to instead of listening to this past week.
Think about it this way. Wait, was Bury Tomorrow supposed to release in March?
It was supposed to release last weekend with August Burns Red, but they pushed it back.
All right.
Because of Corona.
All right.
Which doesn't make any sense because it's not like anybody's going to go out to the store and buy a Bury Tomorrow record. Like, what store is going to have Berry tomorrow?
Are you sure it's because of they push it back because of the selling, or because they can't produce it at the moment?
I guess it would. Well, I don't know if they took pre-orders. It might have been that.
Yeah,
But I also think that if they...
A lot of people are pushing stuff back because, they can't get into studios because...
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, it was scheduled for release, and we've gotten 3 singles so...
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's
That's
one... on that point of not being able to produce stuff because of the outbreak. Amaranth got into Denmark to produce their 6th album an hour before the travel ban in Denmark went live.
Oh, good.
So they're in the studio. Like, they hadn't, like, if they were like a day later, they would not be able to produce the album right now, and it probably would have been delayed. But they made it there like within the last hour.
Hey, we take those.
Yeah, we take those.
Is that scheduled for release this year?
September, I believe.
Oh, good. Something to chew on.
Any more comments on Animate? I don't have much to say, so.
I would recommend it to YouTube, Jake and Justin, to listen to. I don't know if I could necessarily recommend it to everybody because it is particularly heavy, or at least heavier than a lot of the other albums that I should say all the other albums that we're going to talk about. But overall, a very solid record that I'm...
All right.
Anything else to say, Jacob?
No. I, again, like Silverstein, I've only given it like 1 or 2 listens.
Yeah, it's about where I'm at.
All right, let's move on. I feel like this next one is probably going to be one I'm going to be talking about the most. Half-Hearted with their self-titled debut album. I really liked this. I really liked it a lot.
You talking about it so much got me very intrigued. So I went and listened to it, and it felt like Solence to me, like their previous record from 2019. Maybe not in sound, but in the fact that everything that they're doing sounds good, and I think they have all the components. Mm-hmm. But it felt above average, but I don't know if I could rate it any higher than that. They seemed on the cusp of something amazing, and I don't know if any of these songs push them over the edge, but that might be something that they can figure out and explore and master on the next album.
There were really only 2 songs that really stood out to me, and I've been jamming a lot. Vicious Cycle, which was the first single for this album, and then Two of Us, which it came out with the album. Two of Us is... I don't know. It is just such a catchy song. The chorus, they incorporated horns, I think, into Two of Us. Another note, the chorus of Two of Us starts with Falling Apart. There's some sort of rabbit hole going on with songs that have Falling Apart attached to them in some way, or just a good song, apparently. Because with Captives and then Two of Us, which were 2 of my favorite songs of this month. I think overall, this album there isn't a ton of variety. It all sounds pretty similar. I think there's exceptions with like Liar being basically just an alt song. But I think overall, it's just pretty solid all the way throughout. They previously had an Unclean vocalist that left the band. So this is their first time doing a full project with just the one vocalist. And I think they're on their way up. I think this isn't perfect by any means, but there's good components to this for sure.
So you saying that they lost their Unclean vocalist? I'm gonna go ahead and throw that previous album into my Listen Later playlist because I think that Uncleans would help the band a lot.
Yeah, I'm gonna say I'm indifferent about it. It's a good sound, but it's the same sound throughout the entire album.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of gets repetitious.
That's why I think I loved Two of Us so much, because the horns, I think there might be one other song it's on, but the horns and the chorus just made me want to revisit that song so much. Like, everything else is pretty good. Like, Loser's Game, Tell Me, Breathing Pattern are all pretty alright songs. But there wasn't anything that really makes me want to go back to them. But when it comes to Two of Us, the horns in the chorus and the guitar riff, it's just... That song gives me a lot of replay value. I don't think it's gonna make any end of year list or anything. But out of new releases that I heard in March, probably my favorite, I would say. I only listened to 4 new albums in March that were released, so
That's fair. I could definitely see it. Like I said, it's a good album. It's just not great yet, and I think that they've got the potential and things are there. And especially if this is their first album without their unclean vocalist,
another thing
that they really need to find their sound.
Another thing I want to point out is that I believe this album was entirely self-produced and mixed and everything. So
Man, Secrets needs to take notes because this album sounds.
Yeah, I don't think I have too much else to say. It's a solid album. I definitely think the standouts are Two of Us is the big standout. Vicious Cycle, another pretty good one. Everything else otherwise sounded relatively the same and didn't give me much to want to go back to it.
Yeah, that's about where I'm at. I'll probably end up giving it another spin just to see if there's anything that stands out. But yeah, I'm relatively indifferent about it. It's gonna end up probably just in the middle of my album rankings, which I mean, if it ends up in the middle, I can't be too upset.
Yeah.
That just leaves us with one more album, right?
Yeah, my last point on Half-Hearted is that I don't know too many bands out of Connecticut other than Currents, and I'm not huge into Currents. Half-Hearted are the first, kind of hard rock band that I like that are from Connecticut, so shout out to Connecticut.
Yeah, God bless Connecticut.
we
Just
struggle
fuck Connecticut. I hate Connecticut. All my homies hate Connecticut.
Alright, let's move on to the last
Canada, too.
album. Let's move on to this last album, Blind Channel, with their third album, Violent Pop. Now, Justin, you want to take away this at all?
Single's great. The rest of the album forgettable.
Yeah. I think that about sums it up. How many singles were there? Were there 5 or 6?
I think so.
6?
5.
5?
I don't know. I can't count. But yeah, Dying Enough for You, great. Fever. There were also some stuff that were released before they announced they were doing an album. So like Snake, Time Bomb, and
Snake
one other
featuring
one.
Henrik from Amaranth, by the way.
And Over My Dead Body was another one.
Yeah.
But the
Snake...
songs I liked from it, like Gun was good, Love of Mine is good. The rest are just kind of forgettable for me.
I feel like we have very different stances on this album.
Probably. But
I had very high expectations for this album based on the singles, and I was extremely disappointed with everything else. I don't even know. It's just I didn't like Gun. I didn't really like Enemies with Benefits. The only song that I really liked that wasn't a single was One of Us, and even then that took me quite a bit to get into because they teased into a breakdown at the end and it just went into, I don't know what the hell it went into, but it was like some lo-fi beats or something. But yeah, the singles for this album were so good. I had so high expectations. I was going into this year, this was one of my most anticipated albums. I was expecting this to maybe make a push for a top 10 album of the year for me, and it's just not. It's just straight up not even in contention. If you gave me an album where everything sounded as good as Fever and Died Enough for You, it probably would be a top 10 album of the year for me. I think Fever is incredible. Died Enough for You is really good. Even the singles from early last year that I've mostly forgotten about at this point, when I re-listened to them on the album, I was like, these are solid. Over My Dead Body, Time Bomb. I think Snake is always going to rest in a weird place for me because you don't just feature Henrik from Amaranth, my favorite band, on a song, and then them featuring Amaranth on Snake, I had such high expectations because Amaranth's my favorite band, and then it came out and it's like, it's a good song, but with how much I love Amaranth in comparison to how good Snake is, it just didn't hit that level for me. So that's probably weighing my opinion down on Snake. But I don't know, like, I want to rate this album so highly because when I think about this album, it's like I think about Fever and Over My Dead Body and Died Enough for You, and I'm like, all three of those are so good. But then everything else is just forgettable. So is it really a good album if there's only like half of it that's even worth revisiting? I don't know.
Here's the thing. I find it in the same vein as the Solence album from last year. It's a good collection of good singles they release, but it's more of just a collection. It's not a cohesive album.
I cannot believe we've mentioned the Solence album this many times.
Yeah. I know.
Not one of them has been a recommendation to go listen to it. We're like, yeah, it's just repeated. This album is mediocre.
Side note, Solence was my number 10 album of 2019.
Yeah, so okay, whatever.
I'll say that much. It barely snuck in right at the end because of how
I cannot believe you just exposed me like that. I made a broad generalization and you shot me down. How dare you?
The thing is, like, if I look back on that now, I probably would change that with either Issues or Wage War. So
both excellent choices. Sorry, I got spaghetti. Continue.
Yeah, I don't think I have too much more to say about Blind Channel. The singles had me so excited, and then it just fell so hard. Nothing is ever going to change my love for Fever, though. That song is incredible.
I'm trying to think of it. You saying that the singles are great and the album fell hard reminds me of... Well, come to think of it, Wage War. Now that I think about it, because the singles from that were what? Low and Prison?
Low, I think it was Low, Who I Am.
There's a few. There's like 4, I think.
Yeah. I know Low.
Oh, and the other one's Me Against Myself.
Me Against Myself's good.
Those are the best 4 songs in the album.
I disagree.
Yeah. Where's Grave?
Grave?
Get my name?
Grave and Will We Ever Learn?
When I heard Pressure, I saved pretty much every song except, I think, Take the Fight. And I thought that was on a fast track to my top 10. And then I listened to it again. I'm like, wow. No. And I've steadily fallen out of love with that album, unfortunately.
Ghost and Prison, I think, are the only two that didn't make my playlist on Initial Visions. But I've since re-listened to Prison, and it's an actual good song. So
it really is good, yeah. I don't know. I think the highs of that album are very loser.
I don't know if
not as good as
more to discuss about like new releases from March. That's like pretty much the March recap from the Hivemind here.
Yeah, let me
So there is one.
Let's talk about some outliers that I may have forgotten or other things y'all want to talk
outliers. About. How dare you?
Outliers. You calling this Dua Lipa album an outlier, bro? I don't know. Go ahead, Justin.
Yeah. So because Jake won't say it, there's the Wake Up Hate. They released I think it was an EP, I want to say last year, and they have this thing going where they're releasing, I think, a single like every month or two. They released The Cure back in February, and March they released The Panic, and The Panic, that is, I sent a screenshot of it in our Discord, but it's that second.
They released The Cure? For
Corona?
Holy shit. Dude, that's great news. Dude, how'd you find out about that?
Jacob, I'm banning you. But no, like, The Panic is such a good song, man. It's so, like, catchy. I love the instrumentals.
I only listened to it once, but the instrumentals were fantastic.
Yeah, they're really good.
I just didn't love the vocals.
Yeah.
I still need to get around to those. Real quick, I got 3 albums I like to talk about really fast. They're all pop-ish. The first one is Eternal, I guess, like Atake. I don't know how to pronounce it, by Little Uzi Vert. He put out, this was something that I didn't expect and I thought was different and or not needed. So you know how, like, with bands that we listen to, if you drop a deluxe, you're throwing like 4 more songs on there.
Or in Bad
Little
Omens'
Uzi
case,
Vert,
like 2.
yeah, he dropped the
Or Ice Nine
deluxe
Kills.
that added, I think, it brought the total album to 32 songs
Jesus Christ.
from, let me see what the original one was.
I remember you talking about this with Gavin.
Yeah, so the original album was 8. So the deluxe edition put 14 more songs on it. And those 14 songs are better than everything that was on the original. The second half, like with where the original album is entirely forgettable. But the deluxe version, the first 14 songs, I think it's from Myron all the way to Leaders. I would heavily recommend. Everything else is kind of forgettable, I would suppose. The other album is Dua Lipa, who I had never heard of before like 3 weeks ago. So I checked her out on Spotify, and she is the number 3 most listened to artist in the world, just like out of nowhere. Because I think like the first 2 were, I think it's Justin Bieber and The Weeknd, and they both have like established careers. Dua Lipa's first album was 2016. I've never heard any of her music before. I don't know where she came from, but she put out a new album called Future Nostalgia, which has kind of a 80s pop vibe to it. And I really enjoyed it. It's a very easy listen. It's 11 songs, like 37 minutes. The last 2 songs kind of suck, I'm not going to lie. Good. I think, yeah, it's Good in Bed and Boys Will Be Boys, which is kind of annoying. But no, the rest of the album was very chill. It came and went. It didn't feel like it dragged on or anything. I had a very good time listening to it. And then one of my favorite albums of March was After Hours by The Weeknd. The Weeknd's an artist that I've enjoyed for a long, long time. And this album feels like quintessential him. Every song on there, it showcases just how talented he is and why he deserves to be number 2 in the world on Spotify. That he's earned those 61 million monthly listeners. It's for being, I guess you'd consider it a pop record. It's very true to its soulful R&B-esque roots. And for just chilling out and relaxing, I don't know if I've had that much fun with an album for that purpose since Emarosa's Peach Club. So I would give that album, After Hours, my highest recommendation.
And wasn't
But
Peach
other
Club
than
like
that-
your number 1 album of 2019?
Peach Club is my favorite album of all time.
All
I'm going to
right.
be honest. Yeah.
Alrighty then.
I thought about it. I had a little identity crisis on the highway earlier this year. And I was like, oh shit, I don't have a favorite album.
Friends
and then I was
with
like, oh,
Dance
is my-
Gavin Dance ended.
Yeah, I was
Peach
like, is
Club
my favorite album not Dance Gavin Dance? It's not, like, but yeah, no. Peach Club is my favorite album, and this is not similar in musical style, but similar in the fact that you put it on, you listen to it, you have a good time, you don't really have to think much about it, you just enjoy good music. And I haven't had an album like that since that came out, so I was very happy with that, and for anybody who hasn't heard it yet, I would heavily recommend that you do. But other than that, I don't think I heard anything else really of note that came out that we didn't cover. It was a good month for music.
For me, I think it was probably the most underwhelming month of the year so far.
Oh, okay. I'll go fuck myself.
I mean, it was
How
there
about
was
you don't?
definitely there were definitely some highlights this month. Like you can't just ignore Talk to a Friend in Strawberry's Wake
No, how could you?
and just say it wasn't a good month. But February had, let me scroll through my playlist real quick. February
I mean,
had,
yeah, we got Polaris, Word
Yeah.
Alive, and Animate on the
Yeah,
same day.
on the same
no less.
day.
There's also so much shit releasing this month that March is gonna just
Yeah.
feel inadequate.
Yeah.
February had those 3 albums, The Word Alive, Amity Affliction, and Polaris, alongside with Fight the Fade and Armirage, which both of those albums are... Fight the Fade could be making a push for my top 10 at the end of the year, I don't really know. Mostly due to the singles. And then when it comes to January had Bury a Lie, and then it also had the Bad Omens Deluxe release, which features Limits.
Oh,
which is-
Limits.
And Limits is Like,
Lyrical sex.
it's
I mean,
it's
I
my
still
favorite
prefer
song.
Never Know.
Never Know is good, but that was
it
2019.
is. It is. Good choice.
Limits is 2020, and Limits is my favorite song of the year. And
Fair enough.
there's been, like, I don't even know. Like, I think the only songs that could even contest it at this point would be Landmine from Polaris, or June Gloom by Hot Milk, of all things.
So you're just gonna not put respect on Talk to a Friend, or like,
Eh,
is that not making a push?
it's making a push. It's top 10 of the year right now, but we're 3 months into the year. So
That's true. We've got an entire Other Slaves album
Yeah,
coming. I could dethrone
yeah.
that. So
and an Amaranth album, which might take one of those spots.
I also,
Provided delays.
I think Justin will be most interested in this. Probably Jacob too. We got a new Broco album coming this year. The date's not been announced yet, but I think it's coming. So I am also very much looking forward to that. But
All right.
I think that's about
Yeah,
it.
I think that's pretty much a wrap. There's a few other miscellaneous singles I could talk about. Yeah, I think that's a wrap. This went on for nearly 2 hours. That's kind of crazy.
I mean, to be fair, we had 51 songs overall to talk about, 22 singles. And...
It was 69.
69.
Oh, wait. Oh, haha.
It's 69.
Haha.
There was like
Nice.
21 singles and 4 albums that we talked about on top of all this extra stuff at the end. So, yeah.
2 hours is reasonable.
Yeah. So
I want to say
Yeah.
I saw 2 shows in March
Yeah, okay, nice brag.
saw
before this all happened. Literally the day before it was announced as a pandemic.
So if any
I
of
saw
us
Weekend
are,
Romans.
if any of us are most likely to get coronavirus, it is Jacob.
Yeah.
I
Definitely.
could make a fair push for it too. I was at Bad Omens like 3 days before.
That's right.
I
You
would
got to
have
see-
it already.
What was the other show you went to, Jacob?
Silent Planet with Currents and Greyhaven.
Man, you got 2 like S tier concerts, and I got Dance Gavin Dance canceled. So, you know, I'm not bitter. I'm fine. Yeah, when it
It's
got,
all right.
I
It's all
thought
right.
to myself,
You can come down and visit me still. It's still up here.
that's essential travel. Yeah,
Yeah, totally.
fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? When Dance Gavin Dance got canceled, I thought, thank goodness I still have this Barry Tomorrow record to look forward to on Saturday. But no, July 5th. Guess I'll die.
Watch.
into the sin bin.
Dance Gavin Dance is gonna get moved too.
I
Fly
would
up
be
the Swan
so
Fest.
They
sad.
can't just release a new single yesterday or today.
No, Tellian said outright that they're not moving. So
Good.
that's my hope. And if they do, I'm not going to be happy. There will be some choice words on Twitter.
I'll talk real quick about the Bad Omens show I went to. So it was, what was the lineup? 1,000 Below, Oh Sleeper, Bad Omens, and like a couple other opening acts. 1,000 Below only had 6 songs, which I was upset about. I really wanted them to play a longer set. But they were good. I got to meet, who's their vocalist again?
James?
Yeah, I got to meet him after the show, which was pretty chill. And after that show, I went and listened through their debut album, which was fantastic. It was way better than their 2019 album. But I didn't know the debut album when they played the stuff live, so that was unfortunate. And then Oh Sleeper, I don't really care for that much. Bad Omens put on a crazy show. I don't know how or why this happened, but the show ended early, so they got to play 2 extra songs that they weren't planning on doing. So I'm pretty sure they did. I think it was Glass Houses and Burning Out. They were planning on ending the throw on Dethrone because it was the Dethrone tour, but they ended up doing 2 extra songs because they had the time, and yeah, it was awesome. They played pretty much every song I wanted them to.
That's always a satisfying feeling.
I think the
That's how I
only
felt
song,
on this.
the only song that I think I would have enjoyed hearing live that I didn't hear live was Said and Done. Otherwise, they played pretty much every single hit from them that I listened to.
Did they play Kingdom of Cards?
They did not.
Dang.
I recently found out that they're from Richmond, Virginia. Yeah, I didn't realize that, but yeah, them in Broadside.
Yeah,
Actually.
New Broadside.
Yeah, I had no idea that Bad Omens was from Richmond, which makes me even more upset that I didn't go get tickets to see them when they came here. But
they'll be playing more Richmond shows for sure.
Well, I got to see Dayseeker with
You did.
Gideon, and
I'm the last one here that
The Devil
hasn't
Wears
seen
Prada.
Dayseeker.
oh, that's
And
We Came as Romans.
Romans
That's
have-
such a good show.
You know, Derek, the more I think about it, the more I kind of regret not staying back and listening to Wage War, at least.
Yeah, I thought about that
What-
too.
That tour was what? Dayseeker, Polaris.
Yeah, like
Moth
Moth
to
of Flames and
Wage War. That's
Yeah,
a
that
killer
was so
lineup.
good.
And we
I'm-
only stayed there for Dayseeker.
Yeah, but at least we got some pizza.
Yeah, pizza and
Oh
Dayseeker.
yeah,
I loved Rory.
I think about that all the time. We should have stayed.
Oh well,
So this is
next time.
my third time seeing Dayseeker, actually.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Alright, fuck off.
I
And,
just spilled water on myself. Oops.
You couldn't believe it.
I was taking a sip of water. I
Shit, 3.
was taking a sip of water and I
And
Moving
I
on.
brought my friend who only really listened to We Came as Romans, and he came out of the show saying Dayseeker was the best act. So
Hey,
Yeah,
for
of
real.
course.
Well, they opened up with a color black, didn't they?
yeah, and whatever. Oh, what's the intro to The Color Black called?
the
Embers Glow.
Embers Glow.
Yeah,
those two
that.
tracks. Oh my god.
Yeah, they opened with that.
Ear sex.
I am. I'm so jealous of you. They didn't come anywhere near me. The nearest more.
Did they play
And-
Crash and Burn?
No,
I wasn't expecting them to, but
I mean, I would assume it's like what? You play the color black, you play Vultures, you play Sleep Talk,
Crooked Soul
Drunk.
probably.
Drunk, yeah. They opened with Drunk when we saw him, which seems like a more fitting thing than
Yeah.
the color black.
Although
I mean, I
could
guess if
see
you want to
the
put the
color
energy.
black because like the Embers Glow interlude into it.
Yeah. Dayseeker. Let me go to setlist.fm, see what they.
Gideon. I've never really listened to before, and it's like this is like rap metal. It's like what the heck? I was not expecting this. And then The Devil Wears Prada. The first time I saw them was with Parkway last year, maybe, or the year before. I don't remember. And
Okay,
the time I
I'll-
saw them, they
I'll be right
weren't that good, to be honest. Sound kind of what's the word?
Never mind. But
Raw.
Yeah. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
But this time, absolutely amazing.
That's always good to hear.
Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised.
So how was
and, We
We
Came as
Came in.
Romans.
yeah.
Dude, it's hard. It was hard to watch. Like the first few songs, it was hard to watch without Kyle. Like I
Yeah.
was literally in tears. And yeah, they played the whole deluxe version of their Plant a Seed, which is an okay album. And then they played a bunch of stuff off their new album,
alright.
of course, Hope.
I got a dip, but it's been fun chatting.
Yeah. I think
Oh,
it's
yeah.
about time we end this off anyway. So
Real quick, the Dayseeker set list was the Embers Glow into the color black, and then Drunk, Vultures, The World Was Quiet, Burial Plot, Crooked Soul, and Sleep Talk,
okay.
which
Yeah.
is chef's kiss. But yeah, no, it's been fun.
Yeah, that went on for over 2 hours, just barely.
Have fun editing this, Jake.
Yeah, that's all on you, bro.
I just want to end off the show. For anyone that listened to the whole thing, hope you enjoyed. Thanks for listening. We'll be doing these every month as a recap of all the stuff that the four of us listened to.
We're fucking idiots.
So yeah, look forward to the April recap sometime.
Next time, I'm gonna listen to all the music.
I won't.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll probably do the same. What else are you gonna do with your time, Justin? Work.
Not do that because I'm an idiot.
Hey, we respect it. We
All
respect
right.
it.
See you guys.
Yeah, I'm gonna. One last thing. If you want to follow the Instagram account for the show at Hivemind Radio _, that's where I'm gonna be keeping up with what's going on with this. I guess it's a podcast at this point.
Yeah.
If you want to keep up with the Hivemind recap show, follow the Instagram. If you want to keep up with my radio shows that will resume in the fall semester, follow the Instagram for that too, and any other music shenanigans the four of us get up to. So yeah, I'm gonna end off the show there.